focused.
Now, when you said the right butts in the seat, Mark, I'm
Yeah.
assuming that you're talking about hiring for fit and making sure that you've got the right individuals in the organization based on your business needs and your requirements and the expertise. Is that fair?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I guess where I'd go with it is not being too prescriptive. It's whatever you think is important, right? That in your business,
Sure.
for us, we've defined our sort of core values. We've defined that, here's what it looks like for somebody to be successful within our organization, and none of that has to do with technical skill set necessarily, right? I mean, we're at least not on the first level. Even though we're a technology company, we do consider technical expertise, but it comes after, that fit piece that you're talking about in terms of, maybe soft skills and personal characteristics and so forth. But tying this more specifically to the technology question that we're talking about today, my experience is that most small businesses have not established for themselves the link between the quality of their technology and the success of their business. And because of that, it doesn't make its way into that selection process. There is no consideration about how efficient or effective, potential employees are with the specific technology in their business and or their ability to learn it.
That's right.
And it's the tech savvy part that is a real struggle. It's a struggle from a production or productivity perspective. It's a struggle from a security perspective. It's a struggle from, just being able to make changes and be more flexible in the modern world.
Sure. It's kind of funny. I think back about my time in the military, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love the military. I think that how they're constructed is the perfect blueprint for any business model, right? Because there's a chain of command and there are certain responsibilities and organizations that are built based on the needs of the company or the battalion or the brigade, right? So I was a leader in communications, really in technology. And I could think back to my time in that leadership role overseeing this small section of a battalion where we had to provide the communication for many different companies. But I remember I had a senior non-commissioned officer who was my right-hand person, and I've had multiple of them in my career. And I just remember distinctions between one of my top, he was one of the best ones I ever had. And what made him successful is that he understood roles, responsibility, going back to what we talked for earlier, the fit. He made sure that the soldiers in those roles understood the technology, had an expertise behind it. And whenever missions came from higher or there were challenges that we had to address, he knew the people to go to and he let that responsibility run. It's the same philosophy, right? If as a leader, you have to be able to, you said it, hire for fit, but put some trust and faith in the roles and responsibilities and the people of your organization to do what you hired them to do in the first place. Because if you can't do that, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, a key part of this, right? When we think about people, process, technology, 2 points. One, people doesn't always mean employees, right? We work in many scenarios where we're a part of an organization's team, but we're a third-party vendor. But that's still part of what you're looking at is fit, right? It's a much better relationship, a much more effective outcome if there's alignment, between vendors and businesses. So that's not just for businesses and employees.
Sure.
But the second thing that I was thinking about when we're going back to the people aspect of this, you're talking about the technology piece. It's a small percentage today of roles that don't require technology. The ability to use the technology or to learn the technology has to be a part of the evaluation of fit, right? And that's, the theme today, right, is the role of leaders in technology. That's specific to technology, but at the end of the day, what we're really talking about here is it could be the role of leaders in finance, the role of leaders in marketing, the role of leaders in HR, right? I will continue to always think about this in that lens, that this is just, we're substituting technology for other business functions. But at the end of the day, a strong, healthy, cohesive business has all of this at the center that then, like a hub and spoke model just extends in those particular areas based on the vision that's been set by the leader. Because as a leader, that's your primary thing, right? Is to have a vision and then make sure you have the right people who can execute that vision. And then after that, you figure out all the details as it has to go. And so I'll say most of the challenges that we see for small businesses aren't about we have the wrong technology. Usually more about the idea that the technology we have is effective, but we haven't defined how we need to use it within the organization, and we haven't invested in teaching our people to be able to use it in those ways.